David Korins is a builder of worlds, the Tony-nominated set designer of both Hamilton and Dear Evan Hansen, and now a new project. A totally immersive experience, a complete deep dive into the art of Vincent van Gogh. The exhibit opening in New York City next month. The show slated to be seen in 19 cities across North America this year. I had a chance to talk with the project's creative director, David Korins.
Let's talk about what the pandemic was like for you, or has been like for you, and the work you did.
When last March happened, the pandemic happened, I was in tech rehearsal for Mrs. Doubtfire, which would have been my 4th Broadway show. I think I had 27 projects that were shows running around the country and the world that all shut down. Now, of course, as we kind of build back into live events, in a way, the Immersive Van Gogh is the first, I think it's the biggest live event that's going to happen in New York since the shutdown. You know, it's massive. It's 70,000 square feet. And because we built it so that you can kind of go through the experience with your hands in your pockets, and it's big enough that I think that we're going to be able to have a ton of people go through it. And in a way, it's kind of signaling we're back open for business, and it's going to happen in June. And then all of the shows are going to follow quickly after. So it's kind of an elegant, swoop back into working.
How did you put all that together? When it goes from your mind to paper to execution, how does that happen? And how long did something like this one take?
We knew that first of all, if we were going to be in business, we knew that we had to get a big enough space that we could kind of expand or contract the amount of capacity. You know, there's basically the lobby experience. Then there's what I call the gallery experience. And the gallery is kind of like, we've kind of got top-down projections of these circles that allow you to be socially distant if you want. But we're adding all these kind of like interesting kind of hidden rooms and secret things that you can kind of, different viewing platforms. So I think it will be kind of a meandering feast that you can kind of take these things in. You can sit down in one place and watch the entire thing unfold around you, or you can kind of move through it and explore.
How is this experience versus what you do on Broadway when you are handed that kernel of a show or that script and somebody says, can you take it from here?
Well, on Broadway, I act as a set designer. So I think that the set designer kind of has two big parts to it. One is early on co-conceiver of like, how are we going to present this thing? You know, with Hamilton, Lynn made a 26,000 word, 51 song, 30-year piece of American history. And then Tommy and Andy and I kind of figured out how we're going to present it. You know, the other part of the job is I have to literally manifest the physical environment, right? I'm responsible for the physical world. With Immersive Van Gogh and in my creative director work, there is no director. So I'm kind of I attach much more deeply to the kind of consumer journey. So my responsibilities for Immersive Van Gogh, and in that vein of my company and my body of work, kind of what you interact with from the outside of the building, your consumer journey, all the way through ticket booth, in the line, in the experience, all the way out is something, I own that experience. And because of that, you can kind of like really sculpt a much more holistic journey for people.